Alright, it is Sunday, August 16th, and it's about 9 o'clock. So I didn't get out of bed till about 7:30, and it didn't feel too bad outside. It's probably in the low 40s, upper 30s. I forget what Manny said it was exactly. But as soon as I started walking around in this wet grass, my shoes got wet, and then anything that I moved, my hands got wet, and then both started freezing. So made my coffee, put the stuff up top, and now I am in my Jeep trying to warm up with the engine running. Manny already took off. He's going down to the lake to have a nice view while he edits the remainder of his video. I'm going to sit here and idle until I'm warmed up, and then I'll join him. I don't want to idle if other people are around. So yeah, that's pretty much been our morning. Nothing too spectacular. It was a great view. It was really pretty. But all this grass and greenery around us and the dew that formed overnight just saturated everything. The entire Jeep is soaking wet, and so was everything else. So just one of the side effects of getting into this type of climate. When it turns cold, you have to deal with that. But later on today, I'll be taking off all these layers probably within an hour, and it'll be great all day. So I'll take this over what I left in North Carolina any day. Definitely not complaining about it, but I definitely do need to warm up. So that's what's happening now, and probably in about an hour or two, we'll get back on the road and finish Route 1. So it is about 12 o'clock. We just pushed off about half an hour ago and kind of taking our time today because we know we're going to be finishing the route. Talked to a few people back at the lake asking about what we're doing and seeing our license plates and whatnot. So it's always interesting to talk to people from the area and how they got there, and a lot of them are transplants from other areas and just came to Montana and loved it and stayed. So we have the Glacier Mountains up ahead of us. You can barely see them looking through the trees. So it shouldn't be too long before we have some, I would hope, some more decent views rather than just the trees on each side. But I just looked at the map, and we're getting closer to the Canadian border and closer to the end of this particular Continental Derived trail. So should be in or near Eureka before too long, and hit the Canadian border and then figure out how we're going to get back from there. And now we start seeing some of the mountains. We are on Forest Road 114, also Trail Creek Road. And look at that in front of us. This place got hit pretty hard, I would say, within the last, I don't know, the trees are already 10 feet from the base of the forest, so probably quite a while ago, but you can really still see the destruction the fire had in this area. But it's all part of the cycle, and in a lot of cases it's needed for the forest to flourish and the animals within it, so it's not always a bad thing. And as you can see, it's making a comeback, so doesn't make for nearly as pretty of a drive, but it does give you a lot more visibility as to what's ahead of you. So we just stopped along this route in the shade, kept seeing people along the side of the road picking what I assumed were blueberries. So I ran up top here and we hit the jackpot. They were delicious. They're really sweet and nice. I've heard that if you look hard enough you can find schnozberries here in these parts, but I haven't seen any yet, so I'll keep looking. We are on US 93 and left the National Forest, so this is the route into Eureka, and then from here we will push up towards the Canadian border. So Manny has been here before. This is my first time. He, not sure if it was on the Trans-America Trail or some other trail that he did, took him through this area, but this is my first time in Eureka, Montana. So this is Airport Road, and there are a lot of nice houses around here dotting the countryside with some really pretty views. I'm sure even though you're really up here in Montana, it can't be cheap. And I've even looked at Montana land when I was here a few years ago with my brother-in-law, and even out in the middle of nowhere, it is actually pretty expensive. So if you do want a spot up here, you're definitely going to pay for it. But I imagine it is well worth it, even with the harsh winters.
At the intersection, like wherever this car is pulling in, this is where the actual section starts or stops.
So right up here, as Manny just said, at this stop sign is the beginning of where the route actually starts. We did it in reverse, south to north, but if you were to do it north to south, this is your place. So there is a duty-free station right up here to the left, so we might just pull in there. I've got my passport with me, but Canada won't let us in because of the corona, and you have to have official business. And we were talking to ladies back at the lake and said that even if you said you were going to Alaska and you stopped for a hike, they could fine you huge for stopping and not just going all the way through. But my passport actually expires this month, and I never sent it in to get redone. So when I get back, that's on my list of things to do so that I can go to Canada next year. That is my plan, and hopefully my girlfriend will be able to join me. So this is the building next to the border station. Gonna get out, get a couple of shots, and wave to the Border Patrol people, and be on our way. Alright, so we made it to the leaving Montana sign and the end of our journey. So I'll follow up with more after I get out of this section. They're watching us pretty close. So the weird thing about taking these pictures at the Canadian border sign is, I mean, to me it's not that big of a deal. I spent months on the other side there last year. You know, I went all the way to the Arctic Ocean, Northwest Territories, Yukon, British Columbia, Alberta. So for the new viewers, if you're interested in any of that, I've got tons of videos on that from last year. So it's just kind of cool because we almost went border to border. We started 80 miles north of Mexico because we didn't want to drive all the way down and back, but we did make it to the Canadian border. So that is cool to at least be at the beginning of the route that we started. But as far as Canada goes, I plan on going back again next year as long as all this corona stuff ends, and doing the eastern side. I want to do, like I was supposed to do this year, Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, and do all that with my girlfriend, and then maybe even go up and do Labrador. I know Chris from Venture 4WD did all that, and it looked amazing, and so I want to do that myself. Manny over here, he has videos of doing all of that, or most of it, from I think 3 or 4 years ago. So something that I've always wanted to do and hope to do next year. So hopefully things will turn out a little bit different. But for now, we'll savor the moment and just enjoy being here. We're gonna head back to Eureka. Sorry, my eye is watering. And probably get something to eat back there and have a celebratory drink and talk about where we're gonna stay tonight.
Are you videotaping?
Yeah. So being that this is a small town and it is a Sunday evening, there really isn't a whole lot open. The one place over here, what is it? The front porch actually looked really cool, but it is closed today. It's a little celebratory meal at the only place that we found open in town. And a couple of drinks. He's got prime rib. I've got my French dip and tots. So it's gonna taste good going down, that's for sure.
It does.
Alright, so we are on Grave Creek Road and actually backtracking from where we came before we got to Eureka. It's kind of the only way really out of here to where we want to go. So Manny was here last year and stopped at a place overnight that we're going to see if it'll work for us again this year. So we're not quite sure if they're going to have no camping signs. It's kind of a recreation area, but he was able to camp there last year and it's along the route of where we are, so it would be ideal if we could just stop there. It is 6:15. We are a little tired after filling up at the restaurant, so it would be nice to call it a night till we can get a move on tomorrow and check out the western side of Glacier National Park. So I don't see any signs that this is going to work out just nicely. You've got that covered building there. We're not expecting any rain or weather or anything. Fire pit, toilet right over here. Yeah, this is home for the night. This will work. So that is the national forest that we're in. Of course, we're in bear country. I think we spent most of our time in bear country. I was in that most of the year last year. Grizzlies, and I'm not sure about black bears in this area, but I wanted to make sure there was no signs for day use only or no camping, no overnight or anything like that. There's a fire pit right next to our Jeeps, but that doesn't always mean anything. So yeah, I think we're in the clear on the way here. We didn't see anybody in this spot, and now on the way back, nobody is in this spot again. So I don't even think we'll have company, but to have a pit toilet right there is awesome. I think that's the closest we've ever been to one, which is kind of a good thing. Usually it means that there's a lot of people around, but not in this case. So really cool spot. Got the picnic tables. There's even one there behind the Jeep, and we're debating on making a fire tonight. I think we've made one on this trip, so we're not sure. It is kind of warm, and unless it really cools down, we might decide against it. But this will definitely do for the night, so especially since we didn't know where else to go. So we are going to settle in and enjoy the very pleasant evening. We are going to bed, and it is super dark outside and very pleasant. There's something really nice about crawling into here that I really like and that I am gonna miss when this trip is over.